So Barret finished his book.
I did.
I'm gonna have to put.
Book.
What's it called?
The Essential Drummer.
Essential Drummer.
Yeah, the Essential Drummer.
That's I tried to order one on my phone last night and I forgot my Lulu login. So I'm gonna have to go to my computer today and look for my. I think my browser has it, saved or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can go in there and buy one. But I'll put the. Have you got links somewhere?
Not yet.
Boy,
I need to look at it first before I start.
What are you talking about? You said it was done.
I know, but that doesn't mean that the finished copy I'm gonna.
Oh no.
The finished copy or whatever.
I'm buying the rough edit. Where did I put my other Feeling Your Groove, your first book? We saw them when we moved, right?
Yeah, they're in a box.
They're in a box on the shelf.
Yeah.
I got to get them out. I need to start keeping them together. Anyway, I know you didn't watch I always am sending recommendations to Barret and Alex on movies that I think are essential, speaking of essential, for music history. And the latest one I found is George Harrison, Living in a Material World. And you're like, what in the world is that? Well, it is to date the best Beatles documentary that I have seen. It's not, the title really doesn't do it justice, Barret.
Yeah.
It goes into things like, when in the early days, and there's all kinds of photography and old film clips that just are amazing. Like I didn't realize that they lived in the back of this cinema in Liverpool. I guess it was in Liverpool. It was like one room or something, and then this artist type lady took them in. Well, she was a photographer and her husband was an artist. You don't understand how much art influenced the Beatles.
Yeah.
When they were at that age and that culture, you see, because they didn't get into the drugs and stuff till late, later. So they had this culture. They had these cultural experiences that nobody talks about. That's very interesting to me because that's where people's psyche comes to them. That's where they develop. We all develop our sort of philosophy, our own personal philosophy based on our experiences, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really, everything that we believe comes from our experiences in life and the people we meet and the things we see and the things that the Beatles saw. It's just amazing to me that no other movie, and this is Martin Scorsese. Is it Scorsese? Martin Scorsese.
Scorsese?
No, Scorsese. It would take somebody like him to do the research and put everything together in a way that is very interesting. You come out of it with a brand. Now, I grew up. I was born in '62, so they were already famous when I started listening to them, and a lot of the stuff I was listening to was considered, it wasn't classic yet. When I was a teenager, all of their old stuff was already had been, gone through, but I still loved it, right? And then when I became a little bit older, we had, I loved Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and all the, the weird stuff they did. Number 9, I always thought was kind of cool. We would go out into the woods and turn up our 8-track tape deck as loud as we could and play that song when it was pitch dark at night and looking up at the stars when we'd go camping and stuff.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
But so the only way to experience the way, what we were trying to do is try to understand how they experienced it and what it must have been like. And the most amazing thing is they get into the some of the studio stuff, and how that's the most interesting thing to me. Like, I love the documentaries, like on the Beach Boys, like with Brian Wilson, and how he would record and mix his music. That for me, that's the most intriguing thing.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Because they all had a certain sound, and then that sound came from the studios they were in, and the methods that they used. You know, that's why you don't hear that sound live. You know, so that's always been an interesting thing. So if you're a Beatles fan, or even if you're just a music fan like Barret and Alex are, you just gotta go. You gotta go see it. Go to your computer and see it. George Harrison's living, and a lot of people. George Harrison. I always cut myself off for some reason. I'm always wanting to jump to the next point real quick because I know we don't have a lot of time in video. But George Harrison's Living in a Material World. When I first heard the title, I was like, huh? Sounds like was it Cyndi Lauper? Who did that song? Living in a material world. And I'm a material girl. What was that song? But that was the first thing that popped into my head. And I was like, what in the world is this? And sometimes I think to myself, okay, the best movies I always pass over, because y'all watch a movie every night on Netflix or some point, Amazon Prime or someplace. Sometimes I'll pass over one, think just because of the title. You people really need to think about your titles better. And,
yeah, titles are really important.
Yeah, because like this movie was made in 2011. You know, like, what? That was 6 years ago, and I'm just now watching it. But it's really good. It's a classic, as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna watch it again sometime. That's the nice thing about being old and forgetting things. You can go back and watch a movie again. You're still surprised by, damn, she killed him with a knife in the library. Oh well. Go. Where are you gonna put? Now, see, I was gonna tell people to go.
Hey, they can go all they want. You gotta.
Well, here's the thing: if you buy the book, if you buy Barrett's book now, it's not gonna be that much different. He probably just forgot to spell the word, symbol correctly or something like that. He's probably gonna go and check his spelling and then reprint it. But now would be a good time to buy one because it'd be a collector's item, right?
Yeah.
You can say, I got the version where he misspelled.
First edition.
Yeah.
Literally.
I dreamed about squares and cubes and dimensions last night.
Sounds like you did.
And you know what? This is weird. I was, you know how a two-dimensional square has four sides. I mean, it has one side and four corners.
Yeah.
And then a cube has, well, okay, let me back up. A two-dimensional square has four sides and four corners, right?
Yeah.
So that's 4, 4. Well, a cube has 6 sides and 8 corners. 6, 8. 4, 4, 6, 8.
That's funny.
See where I'm going with this?
I got you, Dad.
Anyway, I promise I didn't do LSD, but I saw musical notes on the squares. Okay, can you help me?
Pretty awesome thing to dream about.
Turn
Other things that can be dreamed about.
I guess we should be. Another trip up Signal Mountain.
Yeah, you're
doing a video.
quite the adventure, Dad.
Doing a video. Alright, we're gonna go. Running out of battery again. Go to Lulu. Okay, I'll put the links in the video description because I have a link for the first version. That's the one I'm gonna buy.